like me.
I know you look. So here's my thing with you. I'm gonna respectfully. I'm gonna tell you this. I feel like you don't like to see women understand that they're capable of performing other things other than being married and giving birth. I feel like the
Andrea, you
way.
don't know
Hold on, hold
Andrea.
on,
How
hold on.
can you,
Let's
how
get
can you
You're
say
getting
that?
triggered. You're getting triggered.
Casey.
This is what I'm
Andrea, how
talking
can you
about.
say that? The
You're
last
because you're being
conversation,
Let her
before you
finish.
go, no, no, no,
Are
no,
you
no, no,
kidding
no,
me
no,
right
no.
now?
I don't
one
want
at
you
a
to go off
time.
on a
One at
tangent
a
because
time.
the last
One at a
Can
conversation
I
time.
we
finish
had,
or what?
One at a
Like,
time.
Andrea,
what's
Hold
going
on,
on
hold on, hold on.
here?
Hold on. Let us finish, Casey.
Andrea,
Let us
if we're
finish,
gonna have
Casey.
a conversation, we got to talk back and forth.
You
It's
keep
not a
cutting me
monologue.
No,
off.
The
no.
Casey, let
last
us finish.
conversation we
You
had,
keep
Casey,
cutting
Andrea,
me
I
off.
literally started it by saying,
You keep cutting me
I
off. Stop cutting me off. I let you talk. Let me finish. Like, God, girl, you gotta stop bleeding on other people. Like, here's the thing. I feel like everybody has their own perception of what marriage is supposed to look like. And sometimes I feel as though when we're having these conversations, a lot of people have a dated mindset around marriage. I don't look at I'm not opposed to marriage. I look at marriage as a partnership. I want to be a partner with my partner, whether that's a male or female, and I want us to do this thing together. So while we're living in this maiden time, or while you think I don't believe in marriage, or for the fact that you feel like because I'm able to quote the Bible, that has to me, that's my belief system. I think you're making a lot of assumptions. It's okay for me to be educated on the Bible, and that might not necessarily be my full-hearted belief system. I tend to be a very liberal person, but I say that to say I feel like women who are married, I don't have anything against them, but I feel like there are women who have been married for years who look back and say, "Wow, I wish I would have waited." Or wow, I wish I would have waited to have kids. Or I wish I would have pursued my dream in doing this and now I can't because I'm married to this person or I have all these children. And I feel like y'all tend to project on younger women who see that there is more of a benefit in striving for my dreams and my goals before I decide to tether myself to someone. I feel like for you to make the statement that it is our duty to have kids because God put us here to have kids, you're completely no, you said it is our duty to create life. Well, what about the women who can't create life? What about the women who are barren and can't have children? So it's like we have to be mindful about how we talk about women, especially when we're talking to each other, and understand that we all have different journeys and different paths. We might start off on the same train tracks, and then some of us might veer to the right or to the left, but we're all going to end up in the same place. So for you to come on this panel and continuously bleed on women who don't believe the same things that you believe
no,
or who
Sweeney,
don't
let me
have the
go.
same viewpoints as you got to stop bleeding on other
No,
people.
I'm next.
Andrea, I don't know where this bleeding on other people
Hey,
comes
You're
from
bleeding
because
on
I'm
Casey,
not
we
hurt.
heard
I'm
enough.
not hurt. Number one, you're
Casey.
saying about women,
Ugh.
you have such a negative point of view when it comes to marriage. I don't know where that comes from. You
women
think that
like
all
you.
married women are so unhappy and we
No, she
wish
said
that
you.
we have lived a certain life. Andrea, I live a great life. The reason I'm on this panel is because my husband normally watches our 7-month-old and our baby while I do this. Okay. We have a
He's
partnership. My
supposed
husband is
to.
very supportive. I live life. We travel separately. I do what I want to do under my husband's leadership. So to think that women are living that because I'm married, I live in an archaic time of making sure just making sure I'm stepping step by step. You don't know me, Andrea. So unless you ask a question, you're not gonna know what I feel about marriage. You keep talking about partnership. You don't know what I feel. Just because I say that my husband is the lead, that doesn't mean that I don't have a voice, Andrea. That doesn't mean that. And then
Okay.
you're speaking about that women.
Hold
No,
on,
let me
Ali.
say this last point, Ali. You're talking about women who can't have children. I had a miscarriage. So you're talking about, oh, I feel and look down on women. That is so incorrect, my dear. Every woman cannot have a child. I know that I have tons of women around me who have tried to have children for years and who have not been able to do so, or they've had to spend thousands of dollars on in vitro. So please do not assume that you know my viewpoint when you have not asked me my viewpoint. Don't stick something on me saying that I'm bleeding on women and I want women to get in line to have children, because I know all women can have children. What I was talking about is our rightful role in society, within society. And that is side by side with men, whether we're married to them or not. It is not a gender war. It's supposed to be a community that you guys are talking about. So I'm passionate. I promise you, my dear, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I do feel that you have a lot of assumptions about me. So that's why when I talk and I address you, I really think it's from assumptions that you have instead of really like, okay, let me get to know Kasey. Let me get to know Kasey for who she is. I'm not in my 40s. I had children at 30. I got pregnant at 37. Me and my husband was married for 7 years before we had children, before we even tried children, because we were enjoying life, Andrea. We didn't have children right after marriage. We enjoyed life. We're friends. We have fun. So marriage is not this, oh my God, what did I do? I hate my life. That's not everybody. I promise you, it's not everybody.
It feels like I feel like maybe the misconception that I have about you is I feel like every talking point that I make, whenever you speak, everything that I say results in the whole ending of our community. Like me deciding that I want to go on a journey of individualism and I want to do the things that I want to do. And I'm putting myself first before I choose to make a commitment that I'm not ready for and that I don't feel like is something that's beneficial for me at this time, always results in the end of the community or results in me not aligning myself with God or aligning myself with men. And I feel like that's just really unfortunate. Everyone has their own paths. If people choose to get married, I can respect that if that's their choice. But I also have friends who look at me and tell me, wait to have kids, give yourself time, wait to get married, give yourself time. And I feel like most of the time women who are like you and with your talking points tend to look down on women like me for whatever reason. I don't know why that is,
Andrea,
but
I don't.
not going to destroy the community if I choose to not get married.
Andrea, listen to me. I don't look down on you. I have tons of single friends. I do not look down on you. And I'm saying this because I want you to know my point of view and I want you to see where I'm actually the points that I'm actually talking from. Don't assume that every single person is alike or every married person is alike. We're not all alike. We don't live identical lives, right? I know in this YouTube social media world that a lot of people say the same talking points, but you got to break it down and really find out exactly where people are coming from. And I'm telling you right now, I come from a place of love, education, and sharing my experience in this world because I want people to know that things are possible. I want people to know that Black love is possible because I've experienced it, because my parents have it. It's not from a point of, oh, look what I got. Oh, you wish you had it. That's not how I was raised, and that's not in me. Right? The same way me being a young Black girl dancing for 3 professional teams, the NFL, the NBA, and the AFL, I share my story. I talk to young girls to say, you don't have to have nobody in front of you to do nothing for you to say you can do it. You don't have to come from a family of marriage to jump to know that you can be and have a successful marriage. You don't have to have that background. You know what you have to have? Patience and the will to do it. The will and desire to do it. No one's ever really, that Wale song says it. No one's ever really ready for marriage. You could wait your whole life and never really be ready for marriage. No one's really ready to be a parent. You always are going to second guess yourself. You're always going to have imposter syndrome. You're always going to wonder, am I doing everything perfectly? Am I doing everything right? Am I being the perfect wife? Am I being the perfect mother? You're going to pray and ask God for guidance. You're going to look to other people that are mothers and say, okay, your children are this age. My children are that age. What can I do to make sure my children have the outcomes for you by middle school? Or you're going to see other wives and say, man, y'all have built a wonderful life for yourself. How did y'all do it? Y'all started from humble beginnings. How did y'all work together and build what you have now? That only comes from conversation and networking and sharing your experience with other people who may have those desires, or it may not even be on their radar, and you talking about it will present it to them and maybe put it in their heart or in their spirit down the line. It doesn't have to be something you do tomorrow. So I'm speaking to you, Andrea, but just to everybody, I want you to see that just me speaking on this panel is just for me to share my experience. It's not for me to compare myself to anybody here. It's for me to bring and talk about my point of view, just like everybody else is. And I appreciate you listening, because it seems like you're receiving me differently just from that last little piece.